but there was something kind of. I think a lot of people experience like, oh, it's happening. Oh, finally. Listen, healthcare guy, whatever. I don't care who it is. It's interesting. It's fun. And there's a part of you, even if you're like, a man was murdered, a man with a family was murdered, and it doesn't matter who he is. You can't feel bad. You can't feel like you like that. There's all those
Part
people.
of me does feel like that. It's my leg.
There are people, I think everybody to some degree, when they found out about that news story, there's a part of them that thought like, who would I have picked? Which CEO would I have picked? That's all I'm saying. And, it feels a little V for Vendetta-y. It feels a little like, oh, okay, cool. Some stuff's happening. Oh, I mean, listen, I'll just put it like this. Nobody should ever be killed or murdered or anything. However, wasn't it like the day before, one of the Blue Cross Blue Shield was like, oh, by the way, anesthesia can only last for an hour now, or else you're paying for it. And then a guy, his head exploded onto cement, and they went, never mind. I mean, you can't argue with the results. It's kind of interesting. And there's a part of me that I've got my own qualms out there. By the way, I'm so glad people are finally waking up to the fact that insurance is a scam. I've been saying this for fucking 20 years, that it's literally nothing but a scam. You're insane. I have no insurance. I have nothing. You know why? I'm not going to bet a company against my life. You understand what I'm saying?
You don't like the reverse lottery?
I'm not going to have a company say to me, "Hey, you know what? I bet you're going to die." I bet you're not going to die. And me go, "I bet I fucking am." No, sir. And people, I finally have seen people start going, this insurance shit is bullshit. You don't get anything for it. I had a health insurance plan at the time where I needed it the most. In fact, that hospital visit I told you about earlier, I had no money. I just had nothing. I had just enough to pay rent back then. And fine, I'd been paying into this health insurance for 3 fucking years at that point. A giant chunk of my paycheck was going into that health insurance. And in my fucking time of need, I don't even remember which company it was at that point, but in my fucking time of need, I went to them and I said, okay, pay up. I got a lot of hospital bills now. And they said, fuck you. And they paid $200. And then I was fucked. I was completely fucked. I had paid them thousands of dollars, and they gave me $250 in return for all of that and said, sorry, but all of this hospital shit, yeah, that wasn't what we were talking about when we said healthcare. What are you, retarded? And so I said, okay, I'm done. And that was my my benefits, it comes with my job benefits package. Ooh, wow, this is great. This is really, I told them when I finally got back to work, and I was out of work for a long time because of this. When I finally got back to work, I said, no, you can go ahead and cancel that for me. I don't want that shit anymore because it did nothing. One of my favorite tricks was in the middle of me going through this ordeal where I am horribly ill. I can barely move. And I can barely pay my rent. And I've got no money. I can't work. I cannot work. My health insurance company, through my work, switched. They changed providers midway. And so,
that's fun.
And nobody told me. So I'm contacting, this is why I don't remember the name, because it was 2 names, and I don't remember which one was which anyway. So at one point I have, blue asshole, blue purple nurple, and then they go, nah, now we're go fuck yourself, the health insurance company. That's our name. And I've been talking to fucking purple nurple for the past 3 weeks. Turns out I don't even have them anymore. And finally somebody's like, no, you've got these guys now. And I go, oh, hey, go fuck yourself. Can you help me? And they go, who? And I said, I was really expecting you to say, go fuck yourself. You don't even know who I am? That's like worse. How did you actually manage to pick a more insulting thing? They didn't even know who I was. They're like, we've never even dealt with you before. I said, you've been my health insurance guys for 3 weeks, apparently. Certainly you should know that, even if I don't. They're like, we don't know nothing. Sorry. I'm sorry, sir. We don't know anything.
We're a health insurance company. We don't know anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Health insurance? Never heard of the guy. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Bang, 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 bang. You heard of me yet? So, again, it's not a thing to be celebrated in any way, but there's an issue. And I love seeing all these people who are finally like, this is insurance shit. It's like young people who are like, this insurance shit kind of seems fucking fake and gay. This seems like dumb boomer shit that they tricked us into. Wait a second.
You're telling me it's a scam?
Wait a second. This is starting to sound like usury. No, this is. Wait a second. All the guys in Jesse's replies have just the perfect word for this. What it seems like. And so I love the idea of hope and change. That's all I'm going to say. Remember Obama? Obama promised
forced hope and change.
Obama promised hope and change. And what did he do? He created Obamacare. And yeah, there was a lot of change, not a lot of hope. And that change is what fucked up my fucking life during the time I'm talking about. That change was awesome and really worked out for everybody. The fucking Affordable Care Act, that shit rules. So, unless you're like rich, and I mean rich, I mean can afford 24/7 security outside your house, rich, or you've just got some amazing plan you found or something, you are being ripped off. And I'm not talking about just health insurance either. All of them. All of them are a scam. Now, some of them you can't avoid. I'm not sitting here telling you don't do any of them. Some of them you have to do. But if you can find a way to not, even for a little bit, here's something. Now, I'm not saying I do this. I don't. But here's an idea. All right. Car insurance. Almost every single place in America, you have to have car insurance. Some states, I think, allow you to pay like a little fee or something basically instead, and then you don't have to have it. But pretty much everywhere I'm aware of has it, right? Okay, you get it, and you're good. And then you just cancel it for a little bit. And you just don't have it for a while. And then, maybe every once in a while. I've said this before, but I think car insurance makes people worse drivers. I don't think you're going to be sitting there looking at your phone, texting while driving if you don't have car insurance. You're going to be a lot more careful. As a guy who has driven a car with no insurance before, I feel like I'm paying more attention to the road than everybody else in that scenario. You're certainly more on the lookout for cops. You're not wanting to, do anything crazy in front of them. And this insurance thing is like, it's too much of a safety net. It's a problem that creates itself in a way. You feel like you're a little bit more invincible because you've got the insurance. Your car is covered. Oh, you totaled it? New car. Whoopsie, new car, I guess. Oh, somebody crashed into me? Good. I've been meaning to get rid of this thing. That's a real thought that some human beings have. in their head. Probably not you, but there are freaks out there who are sitting there going, oh, God, I hope somebody T-bones me right now. That would be excellent for me. So
Oh yeah.
I feel like if you...
Yeah, it's the same thing with like the warranties and stuff too. Whereas like people with new cars, it's just like they'll just run stop signs and do like they're the most reckless drivers because they know it's like, hey, it's covered, whatever, who cares?
And of course,
Yeah,
you know,
It's a
that's his
modern
point,
car.
yeah.
I'm not gonna die.
and they choose, you know, it's all you got to think about is like the way, like how much more do you have to pay by being a certain type of guy? You're a dude, you got to pay more because dudes drive fast. Even though women are objectively worse drivers, guys drive faster, and so supposedly they crash more often. I don't believe that. That I would put money on the fact that that is an outdated stat. My guess is in the fucking 1960s, they did they ran a poll or something. They did some statistics to figure out, you know, the insurance companies, who crashes the car more often. And they figured out it was guys. But it was guys because guys drove more often back then. Women didn't drive as much back then. They didn't have jobs as often, and men, you know, wouldn't allow their wife to drive them somewhere. And people had fewer cars as well. So all these stats, like a guy, you know, drives faster and crashes more often, is based on a thing that they've just never updated, right? But you're a guy, you drive fast, and you've got a red car. So now insurance costs more. What fucking cartoon fucking world is that? Because you drive a red car, you have to pay more? That's a real fucking thing. They do that shit. The type of car you drive, that is retarded. And I understand, like, we all inherently understand the logic of it and go like, okay. But then the second you think about it harder than what a child, like what a baby would think about stuff, you start to go, wait, what the fuck? Are you fucking serious? What do you mean you're going to charge me more because you're afraid of the color of my car? What are you, like, who is doing the underwriting? A bull? Ah, red. So all of this shit is so retarded. And I feel like I've been a crazy person for 2 decades saying this shit, telling other adults these things, going, I feel like if we just all said this shit is gay and retarded, we wouldn't have to do it anymore, right? Isn't that kind of the way everything works, where we just have to, like, if you go along to get along, then you have to keep doing it, but if you don't, you don't? If everybody kind of said, I don't want to operate in Babyland anymore, maybe you wouldn't have to operate in Babyland anymore. And I do feel like this is sort of we're on the precipice of something. You know, maybe with Trump, I don't expect him to do anything, but it does feel like that pendulum swing, but also this sort of new dawn, a new horizon unfolding in front of us.